You are calling me home by Krishna's mercy. Vatsan munchan kvachidasmaye krosha sanjatahas. Steyam swadvatyat dadhipe kalpitay steya yoge markan bhokshan vibhajati sa chenati bhandam bhinnati dravyalabhe sagrah kupito yatyupakroshya tokan. Quote, Our dear friend Yashoda, your son sometimes comes to our houses before the milking of the cows and releases the calves, and when the master of the house becomes angry, your son merely smiles. Sometimes he devises some process by which he steals palatable curd, butter, and milk, which he then eats and drinks. When the monkeys assemble, he divides it with them, and when the monkeys have their bellies so full that they won't take more, he breaks the pots. Sometimes, if he gets no opportunity to steal butter or milk from a house, he will be angry at the householders, and for his revenge he will agitate the small children by pinching them. Then, when the children begin crying, Krishna will go away. Shrimad Bhagavatam 10:8-29. Is it not the general tendency to ask? To at least look up to the heavens, to see if there is anything that can be done. After all, there are many things which are beyond our control. The approaching storm, the upcoming medical procedure for our loved one, the decision from the potential employer on whether or not we will land the position, the outcome of the election involving millions of votes cast to decide the future fate of the nation. Bhagavad-gita is kind enough to offer categories. In analyzing the people who initially approach God, if we were to organize their justifications, their reasonings, the initial sparks, into bins, we would get 4 in number. The distressed is one of those categories, and it covers a range of issues including mental, physical, and emotional distresses. Chaturvidha bhajante ma janaha sukritino arjun arto jigyasur artharthi gyani cha bharatarshabha. Quote, O best among the Bharats, Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me, the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 7:16. His Divine Grace. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur recommends a different approach. Rather than trying to see God, to gain His attention, to have a formal meeting in which we can reveal our requests, we should work in ways that God will see us. Get Him to notice our behavior, our character, our values, and our priorities. This is tricky in a sense, considering the antaryami property. This Sanskrit word refers to someone who is all-pervading as a witness. The truth is not based on speculation. There is supporting information from the Upanishads which depict 2 birds sitting on a tree. The 2 birds are friends, except only one is aware of the other. The one bird is making decisions to enjoy various aspects of the tree, noticing the fruits that blossom, while the other bird simply witnesses. The witnessing bird is actually wishing well to the enjoying bird, but the enjoying bird is unaware of what is good and what is not. Quote, the Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad, as well as the Shvetashvatar Upanishad, compare the soul and the supersoul to 2 friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds, the individual atomic soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna, is simply watching his friend. Of these 2 birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friend. Krishna is the witnessing bird, and Arjuna is the eating bird. Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad-gita 2.22 purport. Goswami Tulsidas repeatedly reminds himself that auspiciousness is through remembering the Supreme Lord. This remembrance, which is a kind of meditation dhyana, will bring the most auspiciousness. it will do the most good for the individual. राम बाम दिस जानकी लखन दाहिनी ओर, ध्यान सकल कल्याणमय सुरतरु तुलसी तोर. Quote, meditating on Sri Rama, who has Janki to his left and Lakshman to his right, brings all auspiciousness and is your wish-fulfilling tree, O Tulsi. Dohavali 1. The same recommendation is there in Bhagavad-gita. Sri Krishna recommends remembering. The disciple, who is like the enjoying bird referenced previously, is Arjuna. He also happens to be in distress. In that specific situation, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna approaches Krishna. He wants something in return. Manmana bhav madbhakto, madhyaji ma namaskuru. Mam evaishyasi yuktvaevam, atmanam matparayana. Quote, engage your mind always in thinking of me. Offer obeisances and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 9:34. There is the initial approach, where we might want something. There is the other end of the spectrum, where we work in ways to get the attention of the Almighty. There is also another angle of vision to consider. When working for the satisfaction of that Almighty Being, when asking nothing in return, we get help from that object of worship. Tesham evanukampartham aham agyanjam tamah nashayamya atmabhavasto gyan deepena bhasvata. Quote, out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 10:11. In other words, if my desire is to be with God, He will help me. We see this play out in the manifest Leela of Sri Krishna, particularly in the sacred land of Gokula Vrindavan. As a young cowherd boy, the foster son to Yashoda and her husband, Nanda, Krishna is known to take the calves out to the pasturing grounds. If they should happen to scatter about, wandering off too far, Krishna simply climbs to the top of Govardhan Hill and plays his flute. Krishna essentially calls those calves back home. For the mothers of the community, Krishna goes one step further. Rather than specifically send out a signal in the manner of a phone call or an audible message, Krishna intrudes. He assumes the role of the greatest thief, all while in the visual of an innocent and adorable child. The mothers know exactly what is happening. Krishna has their attention. They see the mischief that he is up to. These mothers, who are cowherd women, then take their complaints to the person in charge. They read off the rap sheet to Yashoda. They recount everything Krishna has done in a manner impressive to even the topmost yogi who spends their entire existence in dhyana on the lotus feet of the origin of the entire universe. The mothers complain, but they are not really upset. They kind of enjoy the disturbance. They are pleased with the trouble that Krishna causes. After all, their very existence is for his pleasure. He rewards their devotion with intrusion. He calls them home, to the place which is most pleasing to the mind. In closing, no more wandering to find, place most pleasing to the mind. In devotion, a higher plane, where assistance to gain, like attention of mothers holding, by intrusions for butter unfolding. Later on, to beloved mother to complain, but deep down so grateful he came.